Hello and welcome to the Spiritual Sanctuary. My name is Bertena. I'm your host, priestess, and yoga teacher, and I'm happy to welcome you to day 5 of our special series, International Week of Yoga, Movement, Meditation, Spirit, and the Divine Feminine. So far in this series, we've explored yoga as more than movement. We began with the deeper meaning of yoga as union and connection. Then we spoke about yoga's ancient roots and sacred history. We explored the 8 limbs of yoga. And yesterday we talked about the many paths of yoga, including devotion, wisdom, meditation. But today we're bringing that conversation into something very practical. We are going to be looking at what are the different types of yoga and how do you choose the practice that actually supports you. This is a very important conversation because not every yoga class is the same. People, sometimes they go to one yoga class, have an uncomfortable experience, and decide yoga's not for me. Maybe that class was too fast, or the teacher didn't offer modification, the room was too intimidating, maybe the practice was too intense. I know I felt embarrassed and out of place, or like everyone else knew what they were doing. And I still feel that way as a yoga teacher. Maybe sometimes the style didn't match what your body or your energy needed. And that doesn't mean that yoga is not for you. It just simply means that that particular type of yoga, that teacher, that studio, that class wasn't the right fit. Yoga is not a one size fits all. The right yoga practice depends on your body, your energy, the season of life you're in, your emotional needs, your spiritual needs, your mobility, your nervous system, your goals, and also your lived experience. Some days you need movement. Some days you just need stillness. Sometimes you need strength, sometimes softness, breath, rest, releasing energy, releasing emotions and trauma. That's why I encourage you to choose yoga that supports you rather than forcing yourself into a practice that doesn't feel right. Yoga should never feel like punishment. It shouldn't feel like you're performing. You shouldn't even be aware of what the person next to you is doing on their mat. You shouldn't feel like you're failing because your body does not move like someone else's. It should help you be more present and compassionate and more connected. And that's part of our spiritual reflection for today. The best yoga practice is the one that helps you feel more present, compassionate, and connected. So today we're going to walk through several common types of yoga in a very simple way. And remember, if you have any questions about any of these, please let me know. And also realize there are more specialty yogas and flair of the day yogas like goat yoga and things like that popping up. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking more about the actual traditional practice. So the first thing that we have is Hatha yoga, and it's a more gentle to moderate practice, and it focuses on the posture, the breath, and the balance. So it can be slower than a Vinyasa class. You hold poses a little bit longer. You do focus on alignment of your body. You connect it with your breath, and you build body awareness. This can be a beautiful practice for beginners because it gives you time to learn the poses and understand how your body feels in them. These can be titled simply as beginning yoga, gentle yoga at a studio. It could be a restorative yoga. So just remember that Hatha yoga can be standing or seated, stretching, or any of it. And spiritually, Hatha yoga reminds us that the body and the breath work together. So it's teaching us steadiness and presence and awareness. So this is a really good foundational yoga practice. And Hatha may be the one to begin with. And again, remember to look at the yoga classes that are listed at the studio. They may be called something else, even beginner. Now, the next style is Vinyasa yoga, and it's where the flowing style of yoga is connected with the breath. One pose often moves into the next in a sequence. It feels more active, rhythmic, creative, energizing, and it's like a moving meditation. The breath guides the body and the body follows the breath. It builds heat and strength and flexibility, coordination and focus, but it is not the best fit for everyone at every time. If you're brand new to yoga, dealing with pain or exhaustion, having traumas, or needing a slower pace, vinyasa may feel too fast. That doesn't make it bad. It just simply means it depends upon the class, the teacher, and your current needs. Sometimes these are listed as flow or dance yoga or things like that. It's more flow moving. Spiritually, Vinyasa Yoga teaches flow. It reminds us that breath guides us through everything. So if your body's asking for energy and rhythm and fluid movement, Vinyasa is perfect for you. Now, restorative yoga is the third type, and it's deeply restful. It uses props, there's stillness, and long held supported poses. It's not a practice of pushing or stretching or even working really hard. It's about being held. You use blankets and bolsters and blocks and pillows and chairs to support the body so the nervous system can soften. In restorative yoga, poses may be held for several minutes while the body rests and releases. It can be supportive for stress, exhaustion, grief, burnout, emotional overwhelm, and for anyone who needs permission to slow down. Restorative yoga is connected to the feminine principle of receiving. So often we're taught to do more and push harder and keep going. And restorative yoga is the opposite. It says pause, be held, receive. You don't have to earn to rest. And spiritually, restorative yoga reminds us that stillness can be sacred and rest can be a form of healing. So if your body is asking for softness and support and deep rest, restorative yoga may be exactly what you need. The next style is yin yoga, and it's quiet, slow practice where poses are held for longer periods of time. Many times the poses target connective tissues, fascia, joints, and deeper layers of the body. Now, while restorative yoga is focused on comfort and support, yin involves a gentle edge of sensation. You're not forcing, but you're allowing the body to slowly open over time. Yin yoga invites stillness, patience, surrender, and inner reflection. And because the poses are held longer, emotions or thoughts may surface. The practice becomes not just physical, but meditative. Yin can be supportive for people who are always rushing, always doing, always moving. And it may not be ideal for everybody or every condition. Prompts and modifications matter here, and always listening to your body is important. Spiritually, yin yoga teaches surrender and patience and inner listening. And if your body's asking for stillness and deeper reflection, yin yoga is perfect for you. Somatic yoga is the next practice that is really close to my heart. I teach it on Tuesdays on Zoom. It's a really gentle, mindful movement that supports the nervous system regulation. It's body awareness and it's healing. It invites you to feel the body from the inside out instead of like trying to force your body into a shape. You become curious. What do I feel? Where am I holding tension? What happens when I move slowly? What does my nervous system need? Now, somatic yoga can be especially supportive for people who feel disconnected from their bodies, who are healing stress or trauma, and have limited mobility. They may have chronic tension or they just want a more gentler approach. This practice is not about poses and how it looks, it's about how it feels. Movements can be small, slow, gentle, repetitive, and it invites the body to unwind rather than be forced. It teaches safety, awareness, presence, and self compassion. And spiritually, somatic yoga helps us return to the body as sacred. It reminds us that body has wisdom, and when we slow down enough, we can listen. So if your body is asking for gentleness and nervous system support and reconnection, somatic yoga is a beautiful practice for you. The next style is chair yoga. I teach this one as well. I absolutely love chair yoga because it's accessible for everyone. It cannot it can help people with mobility challenges and balance concerns, fatigue, pain, larger bodies, older adults. But you can also do this in the office. You can do this in a hotel room. You can do this when you're traveling. And it includes a lot of seated stretches, gentle twist, breath work, and arm movements. There's standing poses and meditation. So it's a beautiful reminder that yoga does not have to happen on the floor. You do not have to be able to get up and down easily to practice yoga. And you don't have to sit cross-legged. You don't have to do complicated poses. You can just sit in a chair and breathe. It makes yoga more accessible and inclusive. Now, spiritually, chair yoga reminds us that the sacred meets us exactly where we are. And if your body needs support, stability, and accessibility, it's a wonderful option. Now, the next practice is Yoga Nidra. Yesterday, I posted a YouTube video of Yoga Nidra, and it's just called Yogic Sleep or Conscious Rest. And it's practiced lying down in a deeply comfortable position while being guided through relaxation, body awareness, breath awareness, intention, and inner exploration. Yoga Nidra is not about movement, it's about entering a state of rest while remaining gently aware. This yogic style helps with stress relief and nervous system restoration and emotional healing. It helps with sleep support and spiritual connection. And for people who feel like they can't meditate, this is a beautiful way because you're guided the entire time. You don't have to sit in silence. You don't have to clear your mind. You just simply receive. Spiritually, Yoga Nidra connects us with surrender and intuition and rest. So if your body and spirit are asking for these, Yoga Nidra may be the perfect style for you. The next practice is Kundalini Yoga. There are different styles of Kundalini Yoga. There is the Yogi Bhajan tradition, and there's the Guru Singh tradition that I'm aware of. It's an energy-based practice that may include breath work, mantra movement, meditation, mudras, and awareness. They all focus on awakening life force energy and expanding consciousness. Now, Kundalini Yoga can be powerful and transformative. There's repeated movements, chanting, breath practices, and meditation, and it's also connected with spiritual awakening, inner fire, intuition, and Shakti energy. Guru Singh's tradition, which I've been trained in, connects with intuition. You make it accessible. If a Kriya or a movement doesn't work for your body, then you modify it. You work with it. It's not as strict as more traditional Kundalini. But for those that are drawn to the divine feminine, Kundalini yoga can feel deeply connected to the sacred life force, the creative energy, and spiritual embodiment. But it can be energetically activating. So it's important to approach this with grounding and discernment because not every nervous system needs strong activation all the time. Some people need gentler, slower, or more stabilizing practices first. And Kundalini yoga reminds us that energy is sacred and that awakening should be held with care. So if your soul's asking for energy and mantra and a deeper awareness, then Kundalini may be perfect for you. The next type is prenatal yoga, and it's a supportive yoga practice designed for pregnancy and birth preparation. It includes gentle movement, breath work, pelvic awareness, relaxation, supported poses, and then practices to help the body and the mind prepare for pregnancy, birth, and motherhood. It's not a regular yoga class with a few modifications. It honors the unique needs of pregnancy and creates a safe and supportive space. It helps pregnant women feel more connected to their bodies and their babies with breath and their wisdom. So, if you are pregnant, it is important to work with a qualified certified teacher and follow the guidance from your healthcare provider. But prenatal yoga reminds us that yoga can support life transition in sacred and embodied ways. The next practice is Aqua Yoga. I am certified in that. And even though I am not the best at swimming, Aqua yoga is the most gentle yoga practiced in water. You should not be under the water, but there are times that you may fall. You may be working on balance. And so just realize that the water supports your body and it makes movement feel easier. It's really helpful with joint pain and mobility limitations and balances. It's really good for larger bodies and recoverable, but the buoyancy of water, even though it can reduce pressure on the joints, it does allow the body to explore movement, but there may be times when you're underwater. So you want to make sure that you're only in a 3 or 4 foot pool or water area. Spiritually, Aqua Yoga connects beautifully with the element of water as it teaches flow and softening, emotional healing, and adaptability. So, if your body needs support and gentleness, Aqua Yoga may be nourishing for you. Trauma informed yoga is one of the more newer types of yoga. It emphasizes choice and safety, body autonomy, and it works with nervous system support and also empowerment. Instead of the practice is telling you you have to do it, you're invited. You are allowed to stop, you're allowed to modify, you're allowed to keep your eyes open, you're allowed to choose what's safe and to listen to your body. To me, in my practices, all of my yoga that I teach are trauma informed. I was taught how to recognize that not everyone experiences the body as an easy or safe space. So if you've experienced trauma or stress or grief or disconnection, traditional yoga sometimes can be very, very forceful. So, in all of my yoga classes, I include gentle movement, grounding, breath awareness. I invite people to to go into poses, to stop, and it's offered with care. Spiritually, trauma informed yoga reminds us that healing has to also honor consent and safety and you trusting yourself. So, if you need a practice that focuses on compassion, then trauma informed yoga may be meaningful. Now, the issue with this is you can find trauma informed practitioners, teachers, but it may not be advertised as much. So, that is where you have to ask questions, you have to visit different studios, try to find and ask and even observe classes if needed. But this is very important because our nervous system right now needs the support. So don't have a fear to ask when you go to a studio if their classes are trauma informed focused or not. Now, the next one is Bhakti. And this is the one that we spoke about before with devotion and chanting, prayer and music. And there's kirtan. And kirtan is the musical style that I mentioned before with Krishna Da. There's devotional readings and deity connection, and it's just beautiful. There's not so much perfecting the poses, but it's more about opening the heart. It's like, can your practice be an offering? Can your breath become prayer? And can your movement be devotion? So, for those on the divine feminine priestess path, Bhakti yoga can feel deeply aligned. It connects it with the goddess devotions, sacred ritual, chanting, altar work, and heart centered spirituality. It reminds us that love is a path. So, if you're seeking devotion and prayer, Bhakti yoga is exactly what may support your soul. So, how do you choose the right yoga practice for you? We've talked about several types of yoga, and the question becomes, how do I choose? Well, first, ask your body what it needs, not what your ego thinks you should do, not what social media tells you, and not what someone else says is the best style. Ask your body. Do you need movement or strength or softness or rest? Does your body need energy? Does it need calming or activating? Does your spirit need devotion or silence? Then consider your season of life. Is it a season of rest like winter? Healing like spring? Is it a season of discipline, devotion, rebuilding, awakening like spring and summer? Is it simply breathing? And third, remember that you're allowed to modify. A pose can be changed, a practice can be shortened, a chair can be used, a blanket can support you. You can rest, you can pause, you can choose any of that. Make yoga for you. And then notice how you feel after the practice. Do you feel more connected or grounded, more aware, or do you feel depleted and shamed and pressured or disconnection? Because if you feel any of those, this information really matters because yoga should support your relationship with you. You should feel comfortable. You should feel accepted. Now, are you going to possibly decide to push yourself a little more? Yes, that's okay. You may love one style more than the other. You may need different practices on different days, and you also may need to blend practices. A spiritual yoga practice might include 5 minutes of breath work, gentle somatic movement, a devotional mantra, and yoga nidra. It doesn't have to fit inside of a box. Your practice can be personal, it can be sacred, and it can meet you where you are. And that is my goal whenever I am teaching yoga. So today's spiritual reflection is the best yoga practice is the one that helps you feel more present, compassionate, and connected. Not one that makes you feel impressed or burns the most calories, but one that helps you feel and honor your body. So you may want to journal for a little bit and ask yourself, what kind of yoga does your body need right now? Movement or strength? Softness, rest, energy, or stillness? But before we close, I want to invite you to place one hand on your heart and one hand anywhere else in your body that feels comforting. Take a slow breath in and gently release. Ask your body, what kind of support do you need today? Pause and listen. You may not hear words, you may feel a sensation. You may feel a desire to move or to take a deep breath. Now, softly repeat, I listen to my body. I choose what supports me. My practice is allowed to meet me where I am. Take one more slow breath. And thank you for joining me for day 5 of the International Week of Yoga. Tomorrow, we're going to explore one of my favorite topics, yoga, the divine feminine, and the priestess path. But until then, may you choose a practice that supports your body, honors your energy, and helps you feel connected to your spirit. Again, as always, if you need anything, please reach out to me on my website at bertena.org, Bertena.org, or email me, bertena@bertena.org. You will have a wonderful night. And if you want to comment below and let me know what practices that you like, please do so. I would love to know. Have a great day.